Hey BC, Tony here. Tony's up, he's or us. As you can see, comes off. We have the new Bad Company issue from Rhino, High Fidelity series, limited to 5,000. That's this edition. Some other editions may come out, but this is limited to 5,000. And they did a great job as well, as usual, I should say. Just got this, been listening to it all morning, so needed a quick pick-me-up. Not really a Pepsi guy. I prefer Coke, but Pepsi was on sale. And I don't normally buy soda anymore, but we had to buy some for some people that were coming over, so we have Pepsi. So Pepsi or Coke doesn't matter to me. I still put Jack in it. So here you have Bad Company, the Obi, and you can see this is a very high glossy cover. And be careful with this cover because I think it's too shiny. I already noticed a scratch on it, which like a hair scratch, a hairline. So be careful with this. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to clean it, put it into a protective sleeve. This has more detail in the front on the white inside of the Bad Company's logo than on the original, which I'll show. Here's the gatefold. It's a matic gatefold. And this gatefold is the UK gatefold. It's not the American gatefold. I like this better. I've never seen this before. This is more creative. It has a three-dimensional tone to it. It shows the guys in the band playing. And since we're doing this, guys in the band, as you know, Paul Rogers vocals, Mick Ralph's guitar. Mick Ralph was with Mott the Hoople. Boz Burrell, bass. He was with King Crimson. And Simon Kirk, who plays drums, and the drums are one of my featured instruments I'm going to talk about today. But I did an ABC. I have an OG that is when I bought this when it came out. I'm that old. This is a Presswell pressing from Ancora, New Jersey. Ancora is famous for a psychiatric hospital. I didn't really know or remember that there was a pressing plant there. I wonder where it is now. Just think the memories that were in that pressing plant and what was left behind. I have to investigate that. But if you could see here, the detail on the inside white is more pronounced on this. It's almost like a marble white. And then I have this that I've had for a few years. Was never really happy with it. Always was going to sell it, but never did. This is Bad Company, Rock and Roll Fantasy, the best of Bad Company. This is a Rhino. But on it, it starts off with side 1. Can't get enough, Bad Company, moving on, ready for love. So I listened to that first. I had listened to Bad Company a few weeks ago in anticipation of the release from Rhino. So today what I did was this morning I cleaned the Bad Company, cleaned my original that I'm gonna talk about, and in order of listening, I listened to side 1 of this, which is basically a compilation of Bad Company. Then I listened to the OG side 1. Then I listened to the original. Then I listened to the new one, Rhino side 1. Then I listened to the OG side 2, and then I listened to the Bad Company Rhino side 2, and I got that out of the way. And I'm going to talk about that. Before I go on, here is the quintessential little extra insert that we get from the Rhino. This is the tape box, and it says 6/19/24 Bad Company. It's Atlantic. Tone for balance at head. And here we have great liner notes, or essays rather, from Rod Neveson, who was the mixing and recording engineer on this record. Let me see here. And like I said, my original was a Presswell pressing from uh, Presswell pressing plant. And here you have the label from the American label, which is the Swan Song, and the UK label, which is a Red Bear Company from Ireland. And Nevison talks about how he got mixed up with Bad Company. He worked for Ireland, and Ireland was associated with the boys from Bad Company, or the boys from Zeppelin somehow, because their manager was the same manager who managed Zeppelin. He was instrumental in their success. And you could see it's all in the liner notes. They talk about how it was recorded in a house where Zeppelin recorded Zeppelin 4, Houses of the Holy, parts of Physical Graffiti, and maybe they composed things there. And if you know the Zeppelin story, you know Headley Grange was in Hampshire, UK. It's still there. It's a historic house. I guess there's virtual tours. Jimmy Page is there in the movie, the Blu-ray or DVD movie of It Might Get Loud with Jack White and The Edge. It's a great documentary type of thing where these three from three generations actually meet and jam and talk about their love of guitar. And Jimmy Page goes on a little tour, and he talks about how they recorded Bonham's drums in that stairwell when you walk into Headley Grange. And Nevison says that he thought that was too bombastic, so he put the drummer from Bad Company into a dining room. Okay, that's Simon Kirke into a dining room, and he got a really tight drum sound, and the drum sound on this record and a drum sound on the Rhino edition is just off the charts. So I think that's all the pleasantries out of the way. I got a low number for you guys who are into that, 1502 out of 5,000. I ordered this with the Yes about 10 o'clock or 10:30, right after it was announced on YouTube, and I ordered online, and I got this relatively quicker than my first experience a few months ago when I ordered the last two Rhino editions, which was Candy-O. And that took about a month and a half to get here, which I was really disappointed in. Record came in good condition. I talked about it. I did an unboxing, which you'll see. It's on my channel. But let's get back to the review. It's ABC. I played the Bad Company Rock and Roll Fantasy. Here's the inner, which is similar to the American inner, which I forgot to show you. That's the American inner sleeve. This is an original from '74. So put this on, sounded good, but I always thought it lacked something because I've had it for years. This is a Rhino compilation, 2015. I think I'm going to actually get rid of it, but it has, things from their 6 albums: Rough Diamonds, Dissolution Angels, Burning Sky, Run with the Pack, Straight Shooter, Bad Company. Now it's interesting that Bad Company, Straight Shooter, and Run with the Pack was all engineered by Nevison, and I think when he stopped working with them, I think a lot of their stuff went a little bit downhill. It's also later on Mick Ronson left, not Mick Ronson, Paul Rogers, the vocalist, left the band, and then Paul started out with Free. Like I said, Mick Ronson was with Mott the Hoople. So this was one of the early super groups or super bands, like Blind Faith was called a super band at that time. This compilation has really nice notes on it. That's one of the redeeming qualities of this. as you could tell how I'm talking, wasn't impressed with that, with those tracks. And then when I put on the OG to compare it to side one, it completely verified what I thought. It blew the compilation out of the water. Now, that's a good compilation if you need bad company, if you want to get pristine, copies. And it may sound good to you. It may sound better on your system. I'm not sure. It's just my impression. But you have the compilation, those tracks that I named. Then I put on the original OG, and wow, it just burst out, came to life. Let me see, I have some notes here. I just said it blew it away. Every instrument has space. Every instrument is clear. The vocals are pretty much dead center. The drums are right behind the band where it should be. So everything's there. Piano sounds good. Vocals sound great, and that's the original. Then I put on side one. Of the Rhino with the Obi strip, and that was a stereo changing experience. It just had, and I kept the volumes the same. It just had a quick sound change of my system. It just sounded better. The soundstage was better. The attack and decay of the drums and the cymbals. I even heard percussion instruments in there that I faintly heard on the American, original pressing. I think there was even cowbell in there, but Kirk does a great job. The way Nevison lined up the mics in that little dining room, the drums is spectacular. It's as if Glenn Johns set that up, and Glenn Johns could set drums up pretty well, pretty exciting. So, in a nutshell, the Rhino beats the OG by a good margin, although my OG is pretty good. It kills the compilation by a long shot. I think the compilation just was dull. It didn't have the high end. It didn't have the cymbals. The soundstage wasn't there. So whatever Rhino has done in the maybe it's because Kevin Gray cut that. I'm not sure who cut the compilation, but it was Rhino, and maybe Rhino used a digital file for that. I know this was analog. The new one's analog. So just overall, this is the way to go. If you could get it. If you can't get this, it's a little bit above the original. This original is nice. If you can find a VG Plus or excellent copy, you can't go wrong with this. Here's the actual black inner. I think this is the original inner. The original inner, if this did not come with the Rhino. Rhino just has the typical Rhino inner that says Rhino over it. I'll show that. But here's this really nice pressing, as you can see. I took care of this record through the decades. And I have another copy which I showed previously, but this is a better copy. This is my original copy. Here is the inner from Rhino, and that's the labels. That label there, it's typical of their high fidelity series. They don't duplicate the label, but they duplicate everything else. And now they're starting to change it up a little bit. As I indicated, this is the UK inner. So overall, soundstage is huge. The drums are spectacular. The drums fill the whole room. Paul Rogers' vocals are there. Paul Rogers also, I believe, is playing piano. Oh no, Mick Ralphs plays piano, and the piano sounds like an orchestra. The piano is very, very detailed and real sounding, and that's how it should play. Just as a footnote, at Headley Grange, that wasn't a studio, that was a house. So the house becomes part of the band. It's a living, breathing organism. They recorded it with Ronnie Lane's mobile recording. They talk about how Pete Townsend was involved with that recording mobile unit, and how it was mixed at Olympic Studios in London. And another thing I wanted to add, that the cover was designed by Hypnosis. That's the live photographs by Hypnosis and Jill from Manosky. So Hypnosis had something to do with the jacket cover, which is cool, because you all know we did a whole segment on Hypnosis. It's back there in my on my channel. So everything was good. The drums are really tight. It only took 10 days to record this and about 10 days to mix it, which is a miracle. So you figure 20 days, 20 or so days to finalize this product, and it was out. And what I learned from these liner notes, which was interesting, is that when the band hit America to tour the record in June, the band headed over to America and quite simply came out of the gate running, initially opening the show on any given night for JoJo Gunn, ZZ Top, Edgar Winter, or Santana. This shortened the required set length to 45 minutes and simply condensed their strengths to absolutely dangerous levels. The band were exceptional, and with a song list that included Bad Company, Moving On, Ready for Love, and Can't Get Enough, they quickly won over the U.S. crowds. By September, they were headlining. They entered America virtually unknown, but left before Christmas with the gold album. And what was interesting to me was the 4 tracks on this compilation is actually their early set list, because like they said, because they were not headlining, their set list was 45, 50 minutes, so it was Can't Get Enough, Bad Company, Moving On, Ready for Love, and that's the first 4 tracks on this record. And as you can see, here's the inner, similar to the inner on Bad Company, Bad Company. So that's it. Go out, do not walk, go out and run to your computer or phone and order this Bad Company for $45 or $40 plus shipping and tax. It's a bargain. Because when it sells out, it's going to double in price, and then you'll be crying. As Chad says from Analog Productions, buy now or cry later, or whatever he says. Basically, that's it. So keep rocking. I hope you enjoyed this review. It was simple because this is the one to go by. All the instruments have air in between them. Each sound is individually there, 3-dimensional. Like I said, the drums are spectacular. The vocals are spectacular. It's in your face. It's right up front. You'll love it. Can't go wrong. Keep rocking, and you can't get enough Bad Company. Thanks a lot. Ciao.